And let's look at the 132-pound matchup. Jaden Enriquez, a sophomore from Mission Oak, third in the central section out of Tulare, and then Julian Flores from San Marino, the southern section champion. Flores 47-5 on the season here as we get set for the 132-pound.
Now let's talk about John Azevedo, the coach from San Marino. He was the coach at Calvary Chapel, built them into a state championship power, and got recruited to become the head coach at Cal Poly, which is a Division I wrestling school in the Pac-12. He spent 6 years there, I believe, was 6 years, and he needed to move on, and now he's coaching high school again. He's a very happy guy, and in 3 years, he has developed this program into the Southern Section champion, and Julian Flores is one of his stars.
Why San Marino? He is sort of a coach at the high school level with the golden touch. Why do you think he went to San Marino?
Well, I think that it's part of a triumvirate from the Titan Mercury Wrestling Club and Beat the Streets. Andy Barth is the supporter of all three of these programs. Andy is a hedge fund operator and very generously supporting wrestling. Now, Beat the Streets, you know, is a middle school wrestling program to help kids learn how to deal with life with the aspects of using wrestling as a formula. It teaches you independence, self-sufficiency. It takes you goal setting, hard work, the ability to stand on your own 2 feet. It's a great program, and Andy brought that. Beat the Streets, Los Angeles. Beat the Streets was started in New York City about 2005 by an old friend and coach of mine, Al Bevilacqua.
And you are the director in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken.
I am the director of Beat the Streets, San Francisco Bay Area.
It's Flores against Enriquez.
Enriquez is the red bands, Flores the green.
Enriquez top ranked in the state, 45-2. The NFHS freshman national champion.
And once again, we're jockeying for position, moving around, moving their hands, hand fighting, closing the gap. Little drag, trying to soften them up.
A little bit of history here tonight. This is the first San Marino wrestler in the finals.
Good for Coach Acevedo.
Of course, there will be another one in about 3 bouts, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing Xander Wick wrestle from San Marino. Here we go. We're feeling each other out again. Again, state finals, a little more conservative than the rest of the tournament. Hand fighting, looking for position. The goal is to get an angle that you can shoot a takedown on it and get control of your opponent. It's the first time these two guys have wrestled. A front headlock from Flores, very strong. Both these guys very fit. Pushing them out of bounds. Okay.
Enriquez has performed in this tournament before at this weight class. A year ago, he finished 4th, now looking to rise up the podium.
Well, he's not going to finish anything less than 2nd. He's in the finals, which says a lot for him. These guys work so hard to get here. It's pretty impressive how fit they are and the skills that they use to get here. I like what Flores has done in this tournament. He's done a very good job.
First round just about to wind down. You know, one thing I notice, though, as you mentioned, Chris, is as we look at, as you said, all the hard work that goes into getting to this exact moment. So many of these wrestlers take the stage under the big lights here and demonstrate outstanding composure. Now, maybe it's just the way they perform on the mat, but the nerves don't seem as high as maybe in some other sports.
Well, that's about the experience. These kids have wrestled a lot of matches this year. They've wrestled a lot of matches in other years, and they have been in the finals of many tournaments. And that's where you get your championship confidence, and that's what you're seeing, is these guys are cool and confident. Nobody's out of control. Nobody's expending a lot of energy that's wastefully, if I can put it that way. So we need to, keep describing the fact that they're sparring, as it were.
Enriquez with solid experience at the national level. He won the Cadet Nationals in Greco at 126 and then finished second in the freestyle part of that event.
That's that tournament, which is the National Juniors and Cadet tournaments in Fargo, and it's 30 mats inside a convention center, and it's wrestling. It's brutal. It's the summertime.
Have you been before? That sounds like your dream.
That's okay. I'm happy with this. Thank you.
What is it about the state of California and wrestling here that sets it apart, at least at the high school level?
Well, first of all, there's only 2 states that have one division, New Jersey and California. And California by far has the most schools competing. Over 800 high schools compete in the state of California, and there's only one champion per weight class. New Jersey only has one champion per weight class, but there's only 350 schools, so it's a different animal altogether. New York recently went from one division to 2, small school, large school. But most of the other schools have multiple divisions. So that's really the biggest thing is the size of the state, the size of the tournament, and the fact that there's only one champion.
Only one champion at 132 pounds, and at the moment Enriquez in control. But again, both wrestlers really hesitant to take a gamble.
Open up. We call it opening up, and neither one is doing that. So we finished 2 periods, and there's only 1 point been scored. And we'll see what happens next. Flores is, I'm sure, going to take the bottom position as his choice in order to even this thing up at 1 each, and then we'll go. Good chance that we will go to overtime.
A wrestler like Enriquez, 132 pounds, just a sophomore. Where do you think he goes in the next couple years in terms of weight class, especially if he does win tonight?
Well, you know, it's hard for me to judge that anymore after what happened with the Valencia brothers.
Of course.
But I don't expect him to grow a lot. Nice mat return from Enriquez. He's trying to ride him hard, putting a lot of pressure on him, riding that ankle. Flores needs to move off the bottom, clear his hips, get himself some space to move in, and he's holding a very strong position. He's not letting Enriquez control him. He's on his feet. Enriquez is going to try to drive him out of bounds, and he does. Very conservative, very controlled wrestling. We'll see if Flores explodes off the bottom. That's what we call it, reacting to the whistle. Looking at the referee, making sure you react to it. He's up. He's up. He's got good hand control, and he's out.
Wow, and there you are. 1-1 between Enriquez and Flores. Less than 80 seconds to go in the 3rd round. And how does one try to make a late push and close this out?
Well, it's almost an identical match to
It
the
is.
126 round match. So they're looking for angles. They're looking to hand fight. They're looking for a guy to make them false step. And hopefully they're going to change levels and penetrate. But, you know, they're feinting. They're moving. They're not even touching each other, basically. Here's some hand fighting, but it's, you know, they're looking for that space, and they're working toward the edge. I don't have a great angle, so I can't see it from above. But if we get a better look at that mat from the top camera, we can see what's going on there. There you go. We stay with this camera. We can see how they work the edge of the mat. That's what it's called, working the edge. Feinting both guys. Drop steps. Short time, as we call it, left in the match. Somebody needs to score. If not, we're going to go to sudden victory.
Both seem keen to head to sudden victory, don't they?
Well, there's a nice shot. There's a nice shot on the edge, and they're out of bounds.
Just 11 seconds remain now.
11 seconds is not, usually not enough time to score. 20 seconds, you have a chance. Now, it looks to me like they're just waiting for overtime.
That they are.
We're going to sudden victory again.
Dan,
we may get 14 of them.
2 for 2 as Anthony Hernandez claimed the 126-pound weight class, and now here we go. It really is an identical match.
And that was a very nice shot from Enriquez. Couldn't finish. working the edge.
What sort of strategy do you employ now? Do you get more aggressive as we saw Hernandez ultimately do in the opening bout?
Well, I think Enriquez, both these guys have the courage. I saw Flores wrestle for the first time during this tournament, and he impressed me with his skills. These guys are evenly matched. I mean, it's hard to say, but look for Enriquez to change his level and hit that leg.
And here we go, overtime at 132, just a 1-minute period. Sudden victory.
Looking for a 2-on-1, trying to tie him up. There's that snap, got the ankle. 2.
And that does it. He's the first wrestler from San Marino in the finals, and he is the first state champion.
What he did was get him to move. If we could see that takedown again, that would be wonderful. We can talk about how he got these kids to move his feet, got him to move and changed his level and got those ankles at the edge of the mat.